Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to the elect of Israel. Latinos, Hispanics, Native, and Seminole Indians are Israelites, according to the Bible. Now, this is going to be a response to the video Elder Apostle Tahar did, saying that American Indians are Israelites, because there are a lot of false Israelite groups that teach that Native Americans are not Israelites. Okay? Which that's the farthest thing from the truth. So-called Native American Indians are in fact Israelites, as well as the so-called Latinos, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called Seminole Indians. All right? These are all Israelites. Those that are of native descent on their father's side, they're Israelites. Now, I'm just going to go into a couple of books, and before I start, I'm going to quote some scripture. Okay? Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 1. At the same time saith Yahweh, will I be the power of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. Right, so this is not a black thing. It's an Israelite thing. Okay? It's not about color, and it's not only about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right? There are other tribes. We have brothers from other tribes, brothers and sisters. Okay? Now, another scripture. Psalms chapter 85 verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Truth is springing out the earth right now. Okay? The earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. That's what's happening right now. Okay? Truth, man. Via the Holy Spirit, via the prophets. But also you have archaeology that's popping up. All these different lost findings and lost history. Okay? Now, to get into a couple of things, I have the book here, Origins of the American Indians, European Concepts, 1492 to 1729, by Lee Eldridge Huddleston. And I'm just going to jump around in this book, okay? Because it's a lot in this book, man. It's a lot of heat. Okay? Which, this is this devil right here. Okay? Lee Eldridge Huddleston. See, Esau knows the truth, man. It's only our people that don't acknowledge the truth. Okay? The full truth. Because you have to acknowledge the other tribes are Israelites as well. Not only Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Now, I'm just going to jump around because it's a lot of heat in this book, man. And I can't get it all in one day. All right, this is on page 29. I'm going to read the highlighted portion. And this was said by Diego de Landa. Okay? Which, if I'm not mistaken, he was a Spanish friar. I believe he was a monk. Okay? But basically, he helped destroy the different codices, you know, that were written by the Maya. And this is what he said, the highlighted portion. After relating an Indian legend of people coming from the east through 12 paths opened through the sea, Landa observed that if this were true, they would be Jews. Right, now, this goes back to a Maya legend, a legend of the Maya, that when they came over here to the Americas, the Lord opened up 12 paths, you know, in the sea, till they were passed over. Going back to 2nd Esdras chapter 13, where it tells you that the Lord held still the floods till they were passed over. The Lord held back the currents so the northern kingdom could come to the Americas, because they came over here on ships, all right, after they left the land of Assyria. So that's what this is talking about. They came from the east, Okay, the Maya, the people you call Mayans, which are the tribe of Zebulun, which the Lord just hit them with a massive volcano eruption. Okay, you know, the Lord is judging them, but they are Israelites. All right, and actually the word Mayan is a Hebrew word, and it means spring. It means spring, like a spring of water. It tells you that Zebulun would dwell at the haven of the sea. All right, so that's spiritual. Now, let me read some more. Like I said, I'm not going to get everything, just hitting the points, man. At GMS, we hit the point. All right, page 33, highlighted portion. And it says, there are, however, hints scattered throughout the early literature which indicate that the opinion that the Indians were descendants of the Hebrews was current and discussed. So this was talked about all the time. All right, by the Spanish explorers, by the Portuguese explorers, by the English explorers, by the French explorers. Okay. All right, highlighted portion. As early as 1511, Pedro Martir de Angleria left open the possibility of a Jewish origin for the natives when he reported the story that Columbus had identified Hispaniola as Ophir. Right, which all of the Americas were known as Ophir, and also Arsaref. All right, but see, Ophir, see, that goes back to how King Solomon's navy, along with the navy of Hiram, came over here once every 3 years, gathering resources. All right, because you had all types of gold, silver, precious stones, all right, exotic animals over here in the Americas, and actually you still do. But that proves that the Americas are the land of Ophir, and also Arsaref, all right, which means another land where mankind didn't dwell. Till our people made it their land, you know, till our people start living over here. Now, reading the bottom portion, excuse me for the wind, all right, it says, Angleria later noted in the part of his De Cadas printed in 1530 that the Indians of Yucatan practiced circumcision, but he did not postulate a Judaic origin, because, you know, Esau the devil, man, you know. So yeah, they'll agree, but then they'll disagree. They'll tell you half truths. All right, that's Esau for you. And the Indians of the Yucatan are the Mayans. All right, and actually, me and the elder brother Bunyamyan, we went down to the Yucatan Peninsula a few years back. Okay, those are the Mayans down there, and it tells you how, rejoice thou Zebulun in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents. All right, so in southern Mexico, you had a joint empire at one time. At one point in time, the Mayans and the Aztecs, they coexisted. Okay, you know, so that's why you have the Mayans in southern Mexico, you know, as well as the Mayans being in Guatemala, all right, Belize, all right, etc., Honduras. But the point is, they practiced circumcision. So where did they get that from? The Israelites. That's a practice of the Israelites. Okay, plain and simple, man. And it's, like I said, it's so much heat in this book. It's too much heat, man. All right, over here on page 32, all right, highlighted portion, it says, or they're speaking about Lord Kingsborough, which Lord Kingsborough, he knew that the so-called Mexicans are Israelites, you know, the Aztecs. He studied them, man, and actually he spent all his fortune, he gave up all his wealth for this information. Okay, but this is what he said. All right, well, basically, you know, dealing with this topic, because you got this man named Simon. All right, you know, well, let me start at the top. It says Lord Kingsborough, Simon, claimed that Sahuagin, whose manuscripts had at one time been confiscated, got them back with the injunction to write nothing to prove that the Hebrews had colonized the New World. Which, like I said, they're going to give you half truths. Okay, It says, this seems hardly credible since, as will be shown in the following section of this essay, other Spaniards contemporary with Sahuagin were attempting to prove a Hebrew origin for the Indians. Right? You know? So that's the point, man. That is the point. Which Lord Kingsborough, he knew it. All right? That's the point, man. All right, now, let's see. It's some more over here, but I'm not going to read it. You can really, get this book on your own. I'm not sure what the price is now. But, this is just one of the things that we use. One of the tools that we can use to further validate the point that the so-called Native American Indians, along with the so-called Hispanics, so-called Latinos, so-called Seminole Indians, they're all Israelites, okay? I highlighted so much in this book, man. I really can't get it all. It's crazy, Page 35. All right. Reading down here, it says, Lumnius introduced most of the theological arguments which were later advanced to indicate a Hebrew origin for the Indians. The basis for his story of how the Jews got to America was the 4th book of Esdras, whose authority Lumnius accepted despite its apocryphal standing. Which all these different explorers read 2nd Esdras. Now they call it 4th Esdras. It's called the 4th book of Esdras in the Latin Vulgate Bible. Okay? But it's 2nd Esdras in the apocryphal. All right? In the KJV, that is. But going back to Latin Vulgate, you got the book of Ezra, you have Nehemiah, all right? Then you have 1st Esdras, then you have 2nd Esdras. So 2nd Esdras to them is 4th Esdras. Okay? With Lord will, this is all making sense. It should make sense to those of you that are sincere, okay? Now it says, a detailed discussion of these passages and of the development of the biblical arguments for Indian origins will be given below. Briefly, Lumnius's argument was that the 10 tribes of Hebrews exiled to various parts of the Assyrian Empire by Shalmaneser had escaped to Ar-Sareth, which Lumnius identified as India, America. It's not India. And that's another lie, man. They want to act like that Columbus was looking for India. That's a damn lie, man. They say that's why he was calling the natives of the Americas Indians, because he was looking for India. Hey, man, you people are so stupid. He knew where he was going, man. Cristobal Colon, who you call Christopher Columbus, he read what you call 4th Esdras, in the Latin Vulgate, which really is 2nd Esdras in the KJV Bible. He read it, man. He read it. They all read it, man. But, hey, check this out. It says how they had escaped to Ar-Sareth, which Lumnius identified as America. So ignore where it says India. America. Really America. Okay, got some more heat for you. Page 37. Getting as much as I can, because I got to head to the plantation a little bit. All right. Now, it says, Suarez de Peralta interpreted this to mean that the 10 tribes taken captive by Shalmaneser had escaped to a land called Ar-Sareth. This Ar-Sareth was obviously near America. It was America. And some of the Jews, Israelites, the northern kingdom, had migrated to it. He supported this conclusion by citing the similarity of certain Aztec words to Hebrew words, because the Aztecs spoke Hebrew. And it says, and by claiming both peoples had similar idolatries. Right? Because see, when you go back to the Aztec Empire, okay, they worship the sun and they sacrifice to the sun. That goes back to how the Israelites sacrificed to the sun when they were in Egypt. They believed in the sun, man. And a lot of them kept those same customs, you know, golden calves and all that, you know. So those are similar idolatries. But let me find something else. Like I said, man, there's so much heat in this book that it's crazy. I may have to do another part. Okay, page 39. Okay, highlighted portion. Now this is Diego Duran speaking. Furthermore, he noted the Indians of Mexico had traditions of long journeys, such as the one from Assyria to Arsareth. They also had traditions of flights, such as the exodus from Egypt. You see that? Come on, man. Plain as day. You know, they keep talking about the Apocrypha. They all read the Apocrypha. All these different explorers. Too much in this book, man. Hey, it's too much. And this is beautiful. You know, I love every second of it. Right, is on page 44. Okay, at the top. Which I'll read this, but it's going off. It says, the Indians did not descend from the Hebrews either, Cabello declared. Which he's going the hell off, man. He's going the hell off. He referred to a lecture by one Juan de El Cano at Salamanca in 1580, which traced the Indians to a Jewish ancestry on the basis of word comparisons. Right, so this man, Juan de El Cano, he's on point. So this dude, Cabello, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, man. You know? And that's it on that. Jumping down here, though. All right, it says, to take a specific example, he continued, consider the Quechua language. It indeed had some similar words. It indeed had some words similar to Hebrew, which the Quechua language, that's the language that the so-called Indians that you call Incas spoke, the tribe of Asher. The tribe of Asher, they spoke the Quechua language. So they spoke Hebrew. And like I said, man, Esau, he's going to give you half-truths because, see, some of these explorers agreed to the so-called Indians being Israelites, and some of them didn't. And the reason why those of them that didn't agree with it is because this does not profit Esau. Okay, the so-called natives of the Americas being Israelites, that doesn't profit Esau. Because that means that these people, if they're the Israelites, they have the birthright, they have the blessing, they're going to get the kingdom of heaven, they're about to come back into power. That does not profit Esau. So, of course, Esau has to make up lies, okay? That's how the devil gets down, man. Too much heat in this book, man. It's too much heat. Woo, man. All right, page 69. It says, Garcia himself testified to the popularity of the theory among the common people of America, who, he said, thought the Indians descended from the tribes of Hebrews lost in the captivity of Shalmaneser. They based their belief in the condition, nature, and customs of the Indians, which they thought similar to the condition, nature, and customs of the Hebrews. Right. And jumping down here. Okay, it says, many writers identified Arsareth as America. The highlighted portion I just read. Many writers identified Arsareth as America. There you have it, man. Too much heat. Too much heat. You know, and I love getting into this, man. You know, this is actually one of the things that drew me to the truth, learning about the Northern Kingdom. All right. It's so much heat in this book, man. I'm like, damn, you know, because I want to get it all, but like I said, I got to head to the plantation. Well, yeah. Let me read page 93. You know, the highlighted portion. Okay, let's see here. All right, this was said by this man. His name is Rocha or Rocha. All right, highlighted portion. I am certain that many of the West Indians descended from the 10 tribes which Salmanassar carried into exile. And by West Indians, he means the so-called Taínos that dwelt on the island of Hispaniola. You know, the island of Cuba, the island of Puerto Rico. You got, you know, the Bahama Islands, okay, etc. Man, those will be the West Indies. All right. You know, so that proves the point, man. I am certain that many of the West Indians descended from the 10 tribes which Salmanassar carried into exile. Right. So before the tribe of Benjamin, you know, the so-called West Indians today, before they were brought from the west coast of Africa to the West Indian Islands, the people that were there first were the Northern Kingdom. Okay. You know, the northern tribes, you know, whether it was Simeon, whether it was Ephraim, whether it was Manasseh, all right, they dwelt in those islands, okay, before Benjamin came down there, you know, because the Spanish explorers, they murdered and enslaved and starved to death that population, you know, murdered them by way of disease, and they had to replace the workers. They replaced the workers by bringing Benjamin down to those islands, okay? And it says, and who came as settlers to the coast of Mexico by way of the kingdom of Anian. Well, they didn't go that way. And they didn't go through the Bering Straits. You know, they traveled, just like 2nd Ezra chapter 13 tells you how they traveled, okay? They came down the east coast of Africa and traveled westward till they reached South America, and then they moved upward. All right, that's how they came over here, man. All right, but jumping down here, okay, it says, then followed a long catalog of similarities between Jews and Indians. All right, jumping down again. For example, he referred to Yucatan as a Jewish word, right? Because it goes back to Joktan, which in the Hebrew is Yakatan, which I believe it means small. Okay, that's a Hebrew word. He compared Jewish with Indian hairstyles. For example, you have braids. Okay, the natives of the Americas, they wore braids, which are locks according to the scriptures, and cloaks, right? So they wore cloaks. Okay. He found also that the Quechua language spoken by the Incas, previously Basque, greatly resembled Hebrew. All right. Let's point on that. So I know time has passed me by, but I don't give a damn, man. I love going into this, which, you know, going back some years ago, I went down to Guatemala, which, like I said, the Lord just plagued them with a, you know, volcano eruption. You know, because Jake down there wicked, man. You know, but this is their dollar, and it's called a quetzal. A quetzal, which means a bird, okay? You know, which, hey, they believed in Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl, that's supposed to be Yahushua, okay? You know, they would call him Quetzalcoatl. You know, that's what he was known as by the Aztecs, but by the Maya, he was known as Kukulkan. And there are legends of Quetzalcoatl all over Central America, Mexico, South America. He was called by different names: Quetzalcoatl, Kukulkan, Bochicha or Bochica, Viracocha, etc. They knew about Yahushua. All right, so speaking about Issachar again, and I'm going to have to go to the other book. I'm running out of time. It's on page 88. Proving that the so-called Mexicans are the tribe of Issachar. Highlighted portion. Okay? It says, the only other writer this author found who accepted the Issachar variation of the 10 lost tribes theory was Baltasar de Medina in his Crónica de la Santa Provincia de San Diego de Mexico of 1682. although Medina thought the South Americans and Yucatecans were descendants of the Gentile Aictan, father of Ophir, which that's not true. Okay? The Mexicans are originally of the 10 tribes captured by Salmanassar, and of the family of Issachar. You see that? And of the family of Issachar, whom the Indians recognize as their special ancestor. Right? So the so-called Mexicans, the Aztecans, they knew that they were Issachar. In the Hebrew, Yashashkar, which means he is hired. You knew who you were, man. You knew who you were. Matter of fact, going to this page over here. And I hate that I'm running out of time, man. I'm dropping pages and all that all on the ground. You know, hey, because I'm moving, you know, through the spirit. You know, Yahweh Shemi Awashai. Hey, this on page 86, man. Page 86, you know, speaking about Issachar. All right, I'm going to start right here. It says, Issachar is a strong ass couching between the sheepfolds. So it's a different translation. The RSV. All right, which has to mean Revised Standard Version. All right, so Issachar is a strong ass crouching between the sheepfolds. He saw that a resting place was good and that the land was pleasant. So he bowed his shoulder to bear and became a slave at forced labor by the Spaniards, by the conquistadors. Okay? Right. And I'm going to read a little bit more. It says, right, and that scripture was Genesis 49:14. It says, there is a significant difference between the modern version and the rendition by Simon and others who use the Issachar story. According to Simon, Issachar hade estar a cado entre términos. Vasquez de Espinosa, who adopted the Issachar theory in the portion of his Compendio y Descripción de las Indias Occidentales, published in 1630s, phrases it thusly: Issachar asno fuerte el que hace asiento entre términos. The critical difference between the 17th century readings and the modern version is the use of the term sheepfold in the Revised Standard Version, whereas the early Spaniards used the undefined entre términos within boundaries. Because see, that's what it means. All right? Couching down between two burdens, it means within boundaries. Right? Because the land of Mexico is between North America and Central America. That's within boundaries. Right? And when you read on, it tells you about, well, let me read it, man. Let me just get it. It says Simon interpreted this prophecy to mean that Issachar would need the strength of an ass to reach his destined land, where he would have to live, entre términos, which actually the so-called Mexicans, the tribe of Issachar, they are by nature hard workers, which that's what a strong ass is, a strong donkey, a hard worker. And it says, in a good and pleasant place, and work as a slave and pay tribute. This prophecy accurately mirrored the condition of the Indians. Their journey to America had been an arduous one, and their station in life doomed them to carry the burdens of their conquerors, the Spaniards. That's plain, man. Okay? Now let me jump over here. I'm going to end off on this. Page 87, the highlighted portion. You know, the bottom highlighted portion. Make sure I can get it. It says, Vasquez used that the lost tribes theory to buttress his Issachar theory with a degree of confusion resulting. Vasquez used the Ezra story of the migration of the 10 lost tribes to show how the descendants of Issachar, who were among the exiles, could have got to America, an event he dated at 739 BC, which really happened after that. It happened after 739 BC. It happened sometime after 722 BC, because in 722 BC, that's when Shalmaneser V conquered the northern kingdom. Okay, and after him you had Sargon II. You know, he deported, you know, about 27,000 Israelites from Samaria to the land of Assyria. Okay, so sometime after 722 BC, that's when the 10 tribes came to the Americas. Okay, so it wasn't in 739 BC. But that's the point on that. Like I said, man, I'm all over the place. Gotta get ready for the plantation. All right, but I'm gonna close out with one thing. You know, you brothers be patient with me, man. I got the book here, Christopher Columbus and the Participation of the Jews in the Spanish and Portuguese Discoveries by Dr. M. Kayserling. All right, and what I'm looking for is in the back of this book. All right, which all of this is good, man. Every last bit of this is good, but I'm just going to hit the point on page 97. Okay, now, all right, let's see here, man. Which really, man, all this is good. All this is good. And damn, I hate it, man. I wish I could read all of this. Because they're speaking about Manasseh ben Israel. They're speaking about different explorers, okay? And these different explorers, they knew that the so-called natives of the Americas were Israelites. All right, they're speaking about Montezinos. All right, if you brothers have that book, Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, you know about him. Okay, man, all this is good. Okay, and they're speaking about this man, Lord Kingsborough, again. Okay, so let me just read on page 97. I can't get all this, all right. Now it says, the descent of the Americans is, in fact, a question which has often been discussed since the discovery of America down to the present day. Now, when it says the descent of the Americans, it's talking about the so-called Native American Indians. Okay, who do they descend from? Okay, what people are they? It says, even in recent times, the Englishman, Lord Kingsborough, devoted his time, his attainments, and the greater part of his large fortune to the publication of a collection of American documents in order to prove the Jewish origins of the Americans. The Jewish origin of the Americans. Because he knew that they were Israelites. And it says, it is not probable that the Jews, Israelites, who were driven from Nineveh by Salmanassar, wandered into uninhabited regions. According to Herrera, the Indians cherished the tradition that Yucatan had been settled by tribes from the Orient. So not only the tribe of Zebulun, but the tribe of Issachar, the tribe of Ephraim, the tribe of Manasseh, the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, etc. Tribe of Asher, tribe of Naphtali. It says several writers give the exact route by which the Jews, Israelites, traveled until they settled in Cuba. And that's speaking about the tribe of Manasseh. So you so-called Cubans, you're the tribe of Manasseh. Okay, that's the point on that. And they didn't go through the Bering Strait. They didn't go through there. Now, I got to conclude this. I want to read more, but I can't. I got to get ready for the plantation. You get the point, man. Page 98 at the bottom. It says, their rites and ceremonies, as well as their language, speaking about the Indians, form one of the main arguments in favor of this theory of descent. Circumcision prevailed among the Indians of the Americas. They often bathed in rivers and streams, right? So if they were unclean, they would bathe in rivers and streams. You know, so we had laws dealing with cleanness, you know. They refrained from touching the dead and from tasting blood, things that make you unclean. They had definite fast days, the Day of Atonement. Marriage with sisters-in-law was permitted if they were childless widows. Right, you know, because, hey, you would have to raise up seed unto your brother, you know. That's in our law. That's in our law. Wives were discarded for new helpmates, you know, or handmaids. Hey, you got to show on Hulu. It's called The Handmaid's Tale, which actually came from a movie. That goes back to us. They also sacrificed first fruits on high mountains and under shady trees. They had temples and carried a holy ark before them in time of war. Who did they get that from? They were also, like the 10 tribes, inclined to idol worship. Woo, man. It says, all writers and travelers agree, moreover, that there were many Jewish types of faiths among the Indians, the Aborigines of America. And by Jewish types of faiths, that doesn't mean that they had a long beak like these fake Jews. All right? They were not honkies, okay? All right? They had Israelite features. Israelites have dominant features. When you look at us, we have dominant features. You look at Gad. Gad have those strong cheekbones. They have strong facial features, man. You know, going back to the Israelites, we're dominant. Okay. And now, reading some more, it says the question whether the American Indians are descendants of the Jews, whether they are the offspring of the lost 10 tribes, has often been answered in both the affirmative and the negative, but it has not yet been definitely settled. Which I'm going to say this, it's going to be settled when Yahushua comes back. You're going to know that for a fact, man. And actually, you see it right now just by all these Israelites popping up teaching the truth, man. You have Israelites of the tribe of Gad teaching the truth, Israelites from the tribe of Manasseh teaching the truth, Israelites from Ephraim, Israelites from Asher, Israelites from Issachar, Israelites from Naphtali, Israelites from Reuben, etc., man, teaching the truth. So you're seeing it right now. So it is being settled, but it's going to finally be settled when Yahushua comes back. That which had not been told them shall they see, and that which they had not heard they shall consider. The kings of the earth and you regular peons, you're going to be forced to accept the truth whether you like it or not, man. Which we telling you right now, but hey, you're going to be forced, man. As scriptures say, they shall call us the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. You're going to be forced to accept it, man. So with that, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash, double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.